Hello and welcome to Geneva in Switzerland, the city that's the host to what's been called the most significant gathering of world leaders in history. On the agenda, not nuclear weapons or high finance, but everyday issues that between them confront all the Earth's 6 billion people. Work, poverty and inequality, the issues that we've been looking at in life. We began our journey in the globalized world with the carnival in Brazil and one face in the crowd, Geraldo de Souza. Like other workers, he was also taking to the streets in protest against a globalized economy that he believed had cost him his job. In the Philippines, we found those who were unluckier still, young women trying to bring up families on Manila's rubbish heap. 1.3 billion people still live on less than $1 a day. Mexico, workers who are trying to find better paid jobs across the United States border.
I see you guys.
We filmed them at the start of their journey, trying to beat the patrols and trying to beat the rules of a global economy which allows capital to cross borders more freely than labour. We followed British doctor Sam Everington to Bangladesh, a country where almost half his patients' families come from.
It's incredible, so many people on the streets. I just hadn't realised it was this poor.
And we went with him into the clinics that treat malnourished children, their life chances put in jeopardy as soon as they're born. In the streets of Philadelphia, we saw why the Social Summit will be looking at first world poverty too, as workers and activists demand a decent living wage. In Washington, we filmed demonstrators who say globalization is one-sided and has gone too far. Some say their protests could jeopardize the benefits of globalization, but others believe they're drawing attention to issues too often ignored by politicians. Now, it may seem quixotic to suppose the world's statesmen and women can work out common policies to deal with these issues, but that's precisely the agenda of the United Nations Social Summit here in Geneva. The story of this summit began in 1995 in Copenhagen in Denmark, when the United Nations held its first social summit. Its aim to combine globalization and free market economics with social justice. But it was only a partial success. So the idea of Geneva is to review what progress there has been and to recommit the world to those fine but still elusive goals. In the 5 years since Copenhagen, globalization has accelerated, creating both winners and untold numbers of losers, many, though not all of them, in developing countries. To find out what the Third World wants from this summit, I spoke to one of its most eloquent delegates, Faith Innerarity from Jamaica. I asked her what the summit can achieve that economic growth on its own cannot.
It's not, I think, what the summit can achieve that economic growth cannot achieve. Underlining all the discussions that we have had since the summit is the link between economic and social development. Social development cannot take place unless there is economic growth. Economic growth by itself, though, does not ensure social development. There must be deliberate policies which would ensure that the benefits from economic growth are available to all within a population.